Right, good evening, everyone. This is the Community Preservation Committee regular meeting. It is Thursday, November 21st. It is 5:32 p.m. We are in person at the Primetime Building and also available via Zoom. This meeting is being recorded. It can be viewed at a later date on the Town of Dayton YouTube channel. We could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Start off with introductions. I am Kevin Smith, Chairman and Parks and Rec Representative.
Alicia Wilson, Vice Chair, Member at Large.
Brian Cedrone, Member at Large.
Paul Reynolds, Conservation Commission Representative.
Dave Eckerson, Member at Large and Financial Officer.
Dan Higgins, Planning Board Representative.
Pat Gales, Historical Commission Representative.
Thank you all. Next thing we have is to approve the prior meeting minutes. So it looks like Elizabeth had sent over the minutes for September 19th and October 24th, and then so we can review and approve those, and then her and I will work on, there was that one short meeting that we only did via Zoom that her and I can review together. I gotta dig that up because I didn't use our normal Zoom link to record. It is recorded, but we can do that at our next meeting. We can include that in our next meeting.
Motion to approve meeting minutes from September 19th and October 24th.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good. So next thing up, so as part of the financial reports, we did get some correspondence from the Community Preservation Coalition. So they've announced their matching funds for the year. Scroll down and find it. So our local contribution was $152,152. And this year, the state matching funds, which ended up being 18.06%, are $27,480. It was just slightly less than the previous year. Last fiscal year was FY24 match was 29,078, and the few years prior was actually significantly higher, but we got second round funds in those years. So depending on how things play out on the state level, determines whether or not we get those round 2 and round 3 equity and surplus distributions, which we haven't seen any of that yet. There's still always a possibility, but as of right now, we can count on having an additional 27,480 as part of our funding, which is good news. Dave, do you have anything? I don't think much has changed, right?
I don't know, did you say 27,480?
27,480, yeah. So in that typically, because our allocations are all based on our June town meeting, annual town meeting vote, so that additional 27,480 will actually go directly into the undesignated unreserved. So that we can include that into our balance for that fund, so we know that we have some additional funding there as projects come up. So if Dave, you don't have anything to add for financial reports? Do you, yes, no? No, okay. Old business, just review and discuss CPC project updates. I don't have any updates on my end, but I do know that the Trails Committee is starting to go through the procurement process to and do IFBs for the studies for Broad Cove. So they're starting to get the ball rolling on that project, because Jeff Cavallo did reach out to myself and town accountant to just find out protocol, and I did let him know that those, I think once they do start the project, that the bills will come to us, and then we'll actually do the bill schedules and approve them as they come in. So but they're getting the ball rolling on that. Pat, do you have anything for
Yeah, our
yourself?
project, Stacy Spies has been working on the West Dayton properties. She's done most of the field work on that, maybe 1 or 2 left to do, and is working on the drafts for the forms, so that's moving along.
I do know too, and you probably have some information on this. I know that the library, as far as the CPC is concerned, has been at somewhat of a gridlock, but that was mostly due to the the architectural
Right,
plans and
right.
engineering, but I believe that they've received their full plans and are gonna, I know that there's been some electrical work being done, but they also should be moving towards,
Right, I
the
think
HVAC,
the
so,
HVAC stuff is supposed to be going out maybe mid-December,
okay.
I think around then sometime.
Yeah, cause the big thing with that is, with the, Mass Cultural Council grant, with that, we have that money tied up, and until we start to get the project moving and actually expend the CPA funds, we can't get the reimbursement either,
Right.
so the
Right,
quicker that moves, the quicker we'll see that reimbursement.
yeah, the
from
snag was
cultural.
coming from the architectural firm, you know, but that's been resolved, so things are really good. And they've been in there this week too.
Yeah, they've been plugging along pretty good, I mean, some things are really starting to happen. Just our part is probably one of the later parts that are gonna come to fruition. So I think that's it as far as project updates. And then just next week, we had just review and discuss the special town meeting CPC warrant article results. The article that the historical commission had presented, passed unanimously, so,
Yeah, no questions.
no questions, no snafus there, so, the town accountant did assign, account numbers, so we're good to go as soon as you guys wanna
Okay.
get started on that, you can.
And I know, I talked with Stacy, Spicer, who will be doing that, and she's working up a draft contract, so then we'll present it to the town administrator for the town to add whatever they wanna add to it, and then we're good to go.
We don't technically have any new business, but just kind of to give you guys an update on some Parks and Rec stuff. We did meet earlier this week, to start discussing some potential playground improvements at the Palmer Street School Lane, now named Timothy Ryan's Memorial Playground. We did start to, we met with our playground, the same playground designer that did, or playground company and designer that did the North Dayton Playground, for some, preliminary drawings and pricing on that. I do expect at some point there'll probably be some ask of the CPC for that, but we do have a couple other additional, we're hoping are really good funding sources for that too, so it's not. And two, what we aim for, I actually told the playground designer, there's a couple of things that we like to do in-house, like having the highway, do any excavation work, we provide our own, surfacing, if it's mulching, the mats. And then, so there's probably some components outside of his, what he's gonna give us that we'll need some funding for, but we told him the budget we wanted to try to stick to, cause it's not a huge park, was we wanted to be well below 60,000 as a completed project, so we're not trying to, do another, 6-figure playground, we're keeping in mind that it's, a lightly used playground for smaller kids, so, we wanna go with a modest design. It's pretty much, I don't know if anybody's been over there, but it's kinda has a big version of a Little Tikes kind of play structure there, and we wanna keep that same feel. So a modern piece of equipment, but with that same kind of look and same, play level, and just kind of fit in some pieces around it, so at some point, in the near future, we'll probably.
Do you know when have they ever done any work on that playground?
So the only thing that I know that's probably been done within the last 20 years is there's one new piece, and it's what they call a you and me swing. And that was probably done just prior to my involvement with Parks and Rec, but it's a one bay swing that a parent can sit on a seat, and then a toddler can sit in that toddler style kind of swing seat on the other side, so facing your kid, you can swing. But that's really been that hasn't been touched. Back on the end closer to County Street, so heading east. On the east end, there's still the original metal slide, the original metal monkey bars and jungle gym, which are, there's some pieces here and there missing. It's not to the point where we felt that we need to, remove it because it's unsafe, but
Right,
it's certainly, that was probably done in the
That was-
70s.
maybe, yeah,
So it's,
been there a long time.
50, probably over 50 years old. Most of the swings and those pieces on that end. The playground structure itself is probably roughly, probably a good 20 to 25 years old, and then there's an old merry-go-round there that's probably is original to the, with this.
Historic.
Yeah, it's close. But we had the same style, old school merry-go-round down at, Lane Field at the bottom. We actually ended up having to pull that out because it's just after time, it gets so wobbly and the kids were pulling bars off and stuff. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that that's something that we have in the works that's probably gonna come through the pipeline at some point, but I don't expect it to be a major ask. And we're really hopeful that our other funding sources, can knock a big chunk out of it and then we can bring that to life. Anybody else have any new business, anything that you guys are hearing about, projects coming down the pipeline? No?
Alright. We can think of something.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're not sitting on a tremendous amount of money, but I think we can be creative and, find it, we can probably start to
So
look outside the
the
box.
250 committee, Anniversary Committee for America has been working on identifying the Revolutionary War soldiers that are buried here in Dayton, just, we have a list, but we're just making sure that all of them are covered. And we were talking about some way to put some kind of markers in for 2026 that would designate them as Revolutionary War soldiers. So, that's a possibility that will come through.
There may have to be for permanent temporary that qualify for CGC.
And
Like wayfinding signs are covered,
Yeah,
but like a temporary forest celebration probably would not be.
they probably would stay by the grave markers,
Okay.
because
Make them permanent.
we have to talk with the different cemeteries too, some are towns, some are, like the Unitarian Church, the Community Church. So certainly you have to talk to all of those parties.
No, that'd be something good though, to recognize that, as people are, people just go, a lot of people just use the cemeteries as a quiet walking space.
There's some on Riverside Ave that are revolutionary, I think at least a couple.
But sometimes it's hard to tell which ones are Revolutionary War and which ones are Civil War, or
Right.
even 1812, there's all kinds of wars, so just looking at the lists and stuff and trying to put it together, Helen Lane and Elaine Barley did a lot of work on that. But through the years, I don't know if anybody else has been really keeping track of that. Cause they put them on all the soldiers, through all the wars. And the other thing is there's no marker up here at the cemetery, at the Veteran Circle for Revolutionary War soldiers. They have, World War I, World War II, Iraq Desert Storms all on one bench, Vietnam, Korea. And then they have one marker that says to all veterans from all wars. So just, things that are kind of like being tossed around.
And then the only other thing that pops into my head that I think was the, housing authorities request, their application for eligibility that we ended up denying. I haven't heard anything back since, given that, correspondence back to them, so I don't know if they found funding elsewhere, if they're not moving forward with it, or if, I'm not sure what's going on there, so.
So you probably wouldn't once they find you.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if, if they could find way, adjust their application and revisit based on other factors, or if something came up, but I haven't heard anything, so. Should go public, let me just double check, nobody's tried to log out, It's just us. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 5:46. Thank you.
So I forgot to ask, how's things at the school, Kevin?